All right, listen up. I have a really good word for you. It's a lot to chew on. For some of you, it's going to deposit a seed and it's going to water it. And this is really going to shift and change your life for a lifetime. So what I'm going getting ready to say and share with you is, for some it might, it's going to happen in the time it's going to happen. I'll say that. But what I'm getting ready to share with you is a lifetime uh, um, revelation. Um, so if this video resonates with you, like, share, comment. I want to hear from you. Something dropped in my spirit uh, today as I was spending time with God, and I was releasing a few things. And one of the things that I released, I remember after feeling the release, um, or feeling the need to release, I didn't have the release feeling that I thought that I would have. I didn't have the release feeling that I thought that I would have. And in that time, in my intimate time with God, as I began conversing with God and just talking with Him, and then minutes later, when I walked away, something in my spirit dropped in my spirit and said, "You have been merely deflecting. It's only what you have experienced has only been deflecting what you have held on the inside." I'm going to say that again. What you have experienced in your past, or what you might be experiencing right now, is only deflecting what you hold inside. Now, reflection is a different thing, right? But deflection, there's a slight difference. Deflection, and of course I looked it up, it says to attack or blame another person rather than accepting criticism or blame for your own actions. We are very powerful. And you and I, many have not known the application, the knowledge, the conscious awareness of how powerful you are. Even when you were a child, you were powerful. But if you may have experienced someone telling you otherwise, or been subjected to not having a voice, or all the many different reasons why you felt you needed to hide, or show up in this identity in which you were taught and how to show up, oftentimes the stems, our sense of self, is not really how God created us to be. Oftentimes, what we have been taught, what we have been told of how we should show up, what our identity is, what we believe our identity is rooted in, oftentimes is rooted in things that are jaded. Oftentimes is rooted in things because mom or dad didn't heal from their stuff. So they pass down their fears, their beliefs onto you, and how they felt that you should have showed up. But in actuality, it really was the things that they never got a chance, felt that they had a chance to resolve. And they unconsciously pass those things through you. And I don't really believe that many of our guardians, or many of the things, the people around us that loved us, I don't believe that they meant any harm. By no means at all. There have been some where some have experienced in their childhood, where they have experienced abuse, verbal abuse, emotional abuse, intentionally, because of what that guardian was holding in their heart, because of bitterness, because of anger, because of unforgiveness, because of rejection from their past, because of feeling of abandonment, because of those wounds that were inflicted on them probably as a child that wasn't fair, and they never got had the chance or believed that they could have the chance to allow themselves to heal, right? Especially growing up in a generation where that kind of thing wasn't really talked about. You go to church. Mental health, emotional health, get that out of here, right? That's a sign of weakness. That's a sign of you crazy. That's a sign of something that's considered taboo. And many times, you know, that stuff gets passed down to us, our belief patterns, our fears, the fears, how you should show up, really sitting with that and really examining that and sitting with the Holy Spirit, sitting with God and being connected to your body and saying, something don't feel right. I don't feel, something doesn't feel, something feels off. And it's very obvious inside of me. I just don't know what it is. Right? Something feels off. Something is not my spirit. I don't feel in alignment, but I feel I have to show up like this because they told me I should show up like this, because this is how I was raised to show up like this, because of what I saw on TV. A lot of real REEL moments gets deep seated in our minds that we aren't fully aware of, right? Of how we should show up. If you saw maybe someone that influenced you and you didn't even know that they influenced you, right? And so taking in all this different information and things in our minds, and it's sponged in, and it becomes engrooved in our minds, engrooved in our cells, engrooved in how we think we should show up based off of the different many messages that have entered in, that we've agreed to, and that we have not become aware of. And so you may need to play this back, because that was a lot of information. But as long as your spirit hears, your soul hears. And so don't try to get it all at once. You may need to play this back more than once. Get this in your spirit more. The understanding, and all you're getting the understanding. But more importantly, let it be deep seated in your soul. And the answers will reveal in its time, right? So oftentimes what we are holding, so if you might be holding something from your past or something that someone did to you in your past, and sometimes because we are powerful, we've held this in as an agreement in our hearts. It's been stamped in our hearts that says, because I experienced this, I must not be enough, or I have to show up this way because I am blah, 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 right? It could give you an example, like, me being a girl, I thought that I had to make sure that I was independent, and I didn't ask for help for anybody because of what I believed growing up. And that was, don't let anybody see you sweat. Always make sure you stay on top of your paper, make sure that you don't need anybody, or you don't need a man. You make sure you don't need anybody. So you make sure that you are always dependent upon yourself, that you stacked up all your paper and all your money you've made your you've lined all your ducks in a row. And so I found myself as an adult just constantly just doing that, because that was how I thought I had to show up. So much fear, so much of the advice that was given to me was based out of the fears and the traumas that they did not resolve, right? And so these things get passed down to us. And so we end up being disconnected from ourselves, from how we divinely wired. And we engroove ourselves almost for so long. We because of that agreement over and over again, it's like we build this illusion of a new blueprint, or this illusion of our identity, but we think it's who we are, and we think that's how we have to show up until we run across a cycle that we want to end. For many of you, you might want a certain cycle in your life that you want to shift or change, but you don't know how. And it starts within you. It starts inside of here. What are the stuff? What's the stuff that you're carrying? What is the stuff that you're carrying inside of here? What are you believing about you? How you think you have to show up? That has been the deflection on the outside. Remember, deflection is to attack or blame another person rather than accepting criticism or blame for your own actions. And I don't really want to say like you're targeting, like something's wrong with you, you're the blame. And yeah. No, this is from a place of love. This is from a place of self-awareness. This is from a place of standing in power and truth. So it's like you step out of the matrix. You step out of that illusion of feeling powerless into feeling powerful. And this is why I believe that Jesus came, that you might have life and that you might have it more abundantly, to bring about a higher state of consciousness, a higher level of awareness in Him, to show you, in you I live, in you I move, in you I breathe, and in you I have my very being, right? So if we are in Christ, if Christ is in there vibrating inside of you, right? That authentic love, that authentic expression, the true and divine self that lives and rests on the inside of you, well, guess what's going to come out? What is not like you, which is what is not like Him. Are you following me? Your belief patterns, how you think you have to show up, what you're holding on you in your heart, who you might unconsciously be blaming. Well, if my dad wasn't around, then maybe I would have picked a better I don't know, maybe I would have picked a better career. Or if my mom, the fact that my mom wasn't in my life, this is the reason why I don't feel like I'm enough. This is what I mean. So there is nothing wrong with recognizing where you think the root started, but that's not where you stop. There's nothing wrong with recognizing where the root started, but that is not where you stop. Because when you stop there and you stay stuck there. And when you stay stuck there and when you believe that, it becomes a deflection in your life. And so it's time to turn the mirror within, right? And one step by turning the mirror within and saying, okay, wait, if I have the power to change the narrative of my story, which I do, what are the steps to that? How do I turn the actions within myself? God, what is the truth? What is the truth? How powerful am I? How do I release the blame so that I can hear your truth about this matter and about me? And I guarantee you, God will reveal it to you in its time. Allow it to happen. Stay close with God. Stick close with God. Stay close with God. God is faithful. God is faithful. God is faithful to complete you, even on the hard days, even on the rough days. God is faithful and intentional about you. I'm excited for your life, and I look forward to sharing more with you. If you want to work with me, I'll leave my link at the bottom. If you have any questions or insight, I'll leave that as well at the bottom. But other than that, thank you for sharing. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. All right. Bye.